Hi guys, so today I have here with me Bianca. Bianca is a student of mine that has been working with me for the past 7, 8 months, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken. And Bianca actually comes from a Hispanic family, but as you may already know, that doesn't really mean that you can become fluent in Spanish. And she really tried to learn Spanish, to become fluent in Spanish, doing all kinds of classes and courses and apps and everything. And she's here now, and we hope that in this 2026 she gets to fluency finally. So, Bianca, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay, can you please tell people watching what was your experience? Like, what kind of things did you do to learn Spanish? Like, what was your situation, and why did you want to learn Spanish? Like, for real? And what kind of things you tried? What kind of things didn't work? Why did you end up here? Like, do us like a summary of everything.
Yeah. I think as a young person, I wasn't very serious about learning Spanish. I think even if you hear it in the house, you think some magical way you're going to naturally attain the language skill, right? Just from being around it. When you realize that doesn't work. And then I took, I think, one Spanish class in school, but it was very disconnected from my own experiences, and the teacher was very disconnected
Yeah.
from that
Because
experience, my
so that people
experiences.
know where is your family from?
Nicaragua,
Oh,
so
Nicaragua.
Central
Okay,
America.
and do your family members speak English, or some of them don't, or how is the situation in your case?
It's a mix, Spanish and English, but the preference is to speak Spanish.
Mhm.
So not wanting to speak English is also part of it. Because it's
Okay.
easier for them, you know. Um, and then I live in California, so yeah. So you and then I think a couple years ago I took some courses, but they were one-on-one courses, and I felt that that was a little bit difficult. And the courses weren't as structured, and so I think part of me was needing some structure and was needing some organization to the learning. And I think that's what these classes give me, you know, consistency, certain expectations are laid out,
Mm.
um, and
What
the
kind
classes
of
are dynamic.
why do you think that this works for you? Because so that people know, what we do here is that we usually have classes once a week.
Yeah.
Then we have assignments throughout the week. The assignments are very based on input, so you have a lot of reading, a lot of listening, a lot of watching, and of course you also have some output, right? You also have to write a couple of things or to speak about certain topics, to watch certain explanations, and then we leave the classes to explain a couple of things and to talk essentially. So Bianca,
Mhm.
why do you think that this has worked for you pretty well so far and other things didn't? What do you think is the key element that makes this different for you, at least?
Well, it's very easy to stop. It's very easy to quit if you're feeling challenged. So I think this class gives you the structure where you want to move forward and you want to
Mhm.
keep going because you have these things, you have these goals, you have things in front of you that you are looking forward to. And we talk about, okay, well, next month we're doing this. So there's a set plan. I think if you
Mm,
don't have that, it's very easy to stop studying, to stop coming to
mm.
class, to be frustrated.
Yeah. So do you think that for you it was very important that you knew at what point you were going to be in a couple of months? Because that's something I try to do with people.
Hmm.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's something I try
Yeah.
to do with. I mean, never lying to people. Like maybe I say to them,
Yeah.
"Hey, this is going to take us longer than we expected." So I know at the beginning I told you that by March we could have this done, but actually it's going to take you a couple of more. I'm always honest. But you think that
But
that's been very what? Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
oh, I was just going to say, I think you are also very consistent with your expectation. Like we, as your students, know, okay, we're getting our assignments. We finish the assignments, we're going to review some things, and then we're going to learn something else. So it's like the rhythm each week to
Mm,
week to we know what to expect. So you've set it up for us. And I think when you're learning and sometimes you're unsure or things are challenging, the expectation is nice to have.
Nice, nice, nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it's something very important. And as you know, I have other teachers working with me, and it's something that I always tell them to do. Like, hey, tell people where they're gonna be in a couple of months, because if you don't see that, it's very difficult for you to kind of imagine that. And if we do the analogy with gym and fitness, that's very easy, right? Because you kind of know what body
Mhm.
you are going to have. But since languages are more abstract, it's more difficult to see. But it's actually easy. You just need to to find a couple of videos of foreign people talking and say, "Hey, in 3 months you're gonna be that guy," right? Which is what I
Mhm.
try to do. Um, and so now, for those of you who are familiarized with the MCER, and well, I always forget the name, but you know, the A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2 kind of measurement. Measurement? You say that? Whatever. Um, Bianca is currently finishing the B1. The B1. She currently has a B1 level, and we're gonna work in the B2 level in this year. So the idea is that in like 8 months from now, more or less, she has a B2, which is fluency. It's not like a perfect. It's not having a perfect language, but it can be considered. Everybody considers that level of fluency. So how do you feel about that, Bianca? How do you feel about knowing that fluency is right around the corner?
Well, it's a nice feeling because you put a lot of work in. Like we work hard, like you have to be committed. Because if you're not doing your homework weekly, if you're not keeping up with the classes, um, it's difficult. So the idea of later on in the future, it gives you motivation.
And last but not least, I would like to ask you about the wheel. So Bianca is having classes with wheel. You also have wheels interview in this channel if you want to check it out. Um, and you know, some people at the beginning are kind of hesitant to have classes with somebody else, but it's what I always say: having group classes, it's a mess, because at the end of the day, if there are more than 3 people in the same classroom, or even 4, even 5, if it's something like very specific, but not more than that. More than that, what makes you is like it's you the one who has to adapt to the group, and not the other way around.
Hmm.
But the thing is that having individual classes or classes in tandem, we do exactly the same. Classes are more dynamic, and usually it works better. So, Bianca, how because you began working on your own, and then 3 4 months later you began working with Will, who is in a very similar situation. Like he also has
Hmm.
Hispanic family, blah blah blah. How do you feel about Will? Well, not about Will. Like, how do you feel about working with him?
Hi, Will. No, it's great. I think you're right. It makes the class more dynamic and we learn from each other.
Mm,
So if I make a mistake or I need to know something, maybe Will needs to know that as well. And so it's sort of
yeah,
like, yeah, we learn from each other, which I appreciate.
yeah, and then sometimes maybe the doubt you were going to ask, will ask that before you do, and the other
Mhm.
way around.
Exactly.
So you're always kind of
Exactly.
complementing each other. Maybe
Hmm.
one of you comes up with a question that you know you were going to come up at some point. So
Hmm.
yeah. So Bianca, what would you tell people that are hesitant about taking classes or taking these specific classes, or what would you say to them?
I would say, make the commitment to yourself. And even when it gets difficult, you still push through. Because all types of learning are difficult. So just keep at it.
Okay. Yeah, languages are difficult, guys.
Hmm.
I know we all love to say, "Oh, languages are easy." Languages take time. It's true that they don't have
It
to
takes
take a lot
time.
of time, but if you
Hmm.
dedicate 2 to 3 years to learn the language daily, you can get to fluency. And when I say learn the language daily, I just mean like learn the language for 20 minutes every single day with a structured plan. Do that consistently for between 20 to 30 months of your life, and you got this.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think the other
what?
one other thing I would say is like it can't just be some side project. You have to
Mm.
prioritize yourself and you have to prioritize your learning. And then I think
Yeah,
you go further.
yeah. And what happens is that people think that learning language is about spending a lot of hours sitting in a desk. And no,
Mhm.
learning language is about spending a couple of, again, like half an hour a day or even less than that sitting in a
Yes.
desk. and thinking of the language the whole day. So you have to be in love with the language. You have to, try to translate all the time and trying to, yeah, it has to become something a little bit obsessive. Yeah, I
Yeah, it
100%
does.
agree with you. Yeah. So, Bianca, thank you very much. Okay,
Thank you.
for um coming to this program, I guess, or podcast or whatever this is. And yeah. So again, if you have any question, you know that you can check out my Instagram, send me a DM, and I'll be happy to answer you. Until next time.